to see the basic Linux commands part 1, and side by side we will also do the practical for this particular Linux lab. So let's go ahead and start our lab for today. So first of all, we are going to see the present working directory in particular Linux. For example, check check the present working directory. So in order to check it, we have a command name is pwd, right? And its full form is also present working directory. So when we will go to the Linux command, right? And just as we write pwd, so we can see that currently we are in this particular file which is called as root, right? We are inside the root. So that's why it is showing root. Now let's see the next part. So to see the of a directory, contents of a directory, right? So let's check for it. So for this, to check the contents of directory, ls command is used, and then we put in the option that we have. Then there is the argument, right? So this is how we see the ls command and run the ls command. So for the ls command also, I'm going to show you options, like what are the options which are basically used. So these are the options which are basically used. L is used for long list including attributes. A is used for all the files and directories including hidden. D is used to check a particular file or directory. R is used for recursively to see the contents in a tree structure. So let's go ahead with the basic ls command. So let's just run ls command here. So we can see all the files which are present in the current root that we have. So we have Anaconda C configuration file, we have directories such as desktop, documents, downloads, music, pictures, public templates and videos, right? So this is how it is showing. It is the just the basic view we get after pressing the ls command, that which files it contains. Now, for example, as we have seen for the option, what if we select the first option, which is the L option, right? So let's go ahead with that list L. So what does this option says? Long list including attributes. So after pressing this command, we will be able to see the attributes of this particular Linux files or these Linux files. So now we can see the attributes. So we can see that as we have installed the Linux on 24th of April, it is showing this particular date, this particular time. So it's been generated at this time, and it is the GUID, what it is showing here. What happens every time, even if we create ID is created, then we can see the user who is the owner, then we can see the group owner here, and what we can see is the accessibility or the commands, that how much control the user have it on particular directories. And always remember then that in these kinds of commands, the first letter stands for the type of file which it is. For example, this is the first file, it is the basic file, configuration file. So in order to clear that also, I'm going to show you image. So yes, so as we can see here, like this is a regular file which is the first one, and rest of the files are directories. So in order to anomaly the directory part, we can compare it with the Windows folders. So you can say that a directory is similar to Windows folder, And a regular file is kind of similar to like some file. For example, you can take Notepad, which is used basically for data storage, right? So that's how it works. And also we have these files as shortcut files, which is denoted by starting from L. We have the accessing character device, which starts from C. We have accessing block device, which starts from B. For inter-process communication, we have named pipes, which starts from P. Then we also have the sockets, which start from S. So let's now focus on the basic commands first. So now you know how to list the long list including attributes. So these are the attributes. For example, this is the attribute, this is the root owner command, like what kind of permission the root owner has. It is read, write, and execute. This is for the group owner, which is read and execute, and third is for the other users, which I will explain in detail in the later stages of this particular course, right? Now let's move forward and let's see the second command that we have. So let's try out with this all files and directories including hidden, right? So let's type in here as A. So now as we can see that initially we were able to see just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 files. But after pressing the hidden option or after pressing the hidden attribute, we are able to see multiple files which were not shown previously. For example, .ssh file, .cache file, .local, and all the files which start with dot are shown here. Bash history, bash logout, bash profile. So these are the files which are shown after using the hidden files option. Also, we can see uh, the third option, which is D, to check for a particular file or directory. So from here on, initially we were just using the options to see the files. Now we are going to use the arguments also, right? So for example, let's try to search for documents, right? Let's type in here as ls, then the directory that we are searching for, and here it is, documents. So it will show us the directory that we are searching for. You can compare it to like for the Windows search, we just go on to the top of the folder in the search bar and we search it there, right? So this is similar to that. Like if we are searching for any directory, we can directly type in the name and we can get the results, right? Now let's go to the third option, which is recursively. It is to see the contents in a tree structure, right? So let's try this command out, right? So ls, let's press R and let's press the file which we want to see. For example, let's take opt, for example. So just opt contains opt, right? So it doesn't contains any other files. Okay, let's check any other file. Not in order to check, let's create a file, right? So let's, which is the recursively to see the contents of in a tree structure, right? So let's just press this command ls, the command that we have to put, then the argument which we have to put is the opt directory, and here we can see the whole file structure here. So we have first the opt which contains galaxy, then inside the opt galaxy we have galaxy A, inside the opt galaxy and the galaxy A we have galaxy B, and inside the opt galaxy and galaxy A and galaxy B we have galaxy C. So we can see the whole tree structure of the directories here. So this is how we are able to see the whole structure. Also suppose let's for example, let me show you all the directories with all the attributes again, so that you can see it. For example, let's let me put L here. So now we are able to see all the directories. Also, let's see the hidden directories also, right? So let's see all the hidden directories also here. So let's try to search for some file, right? So when we try to search, what we can do, or if we want to see the list of files or directories starting with a particular letter. So here we have downloads and documents, right? Downloads, we have desktop, we have documents. So suppose if I want to search for something, for example, previously how we were searching, we were just putting in the letter and we were just putting in the this option hyphen D, and then we were searching for that particular file or directory. So let's now search by using the first letter, right? So how we can do that? Just write ls and then the initial letter that we want to find. For example, initial letter should be D. Then we have to put this and we will search. So now we can see only desktop documents and downloads are present by this option, right? Now let's move forward and now we are going to start the option which is present for creating files, creating files and adding data using cat command. So for the cat command, we have the command such as cat. In the cat command also we have the option, right? And similarly we have the argument. Right, let's move forward. So in order to do all these things, let's go to a particular file. So not going to a particular file, let's just create a file here. So as we can see that we can create a file using the cat command, right? So in order to create a file, what we have to press cat. Then this time we have the argument as option as greater than, right? And what we have to put in the argument, we have to put the name of the file that we are going to create. For example, here I am going to create sales report, sales report. Now I am going to type something like this file contains the sales report for the month of May. Fine. Now how to save this particular cat file? We just have to press Ctrl plus D and it gets saved. Like let's come here, Ctrl plus D. After going to the next line, now our file is saved. Now how to view this particular file? I will also come to that point also, and let's create the next file. For example, let's have this file mktgre port, right? So let's create this. This file contains the tg report for the month of May. Next, coming to the next line and then pressing on Ctrl D. So the file is saved. So we have created two files. So also, as we have previously seen that how we can see our files, for example, we can just put ls and we can put l so that we can see the attribute of our file also. So here, as you can see that we have the file that we have created here first, and then we also have the file that we have created here the second. This is the sales report and this is the marketing report, right? So we have created two files reports here, which are basically directory. For example, I have explained as type of directories. These are regular files which are data storage files, because as we can see, we are starting from this sign, right? So let's move forward and do some more configurations. So suppose you want to see like what is the content of my file. So just we have to press on cat, and we have to uh, we in order to see any file, we don't have to give any option. We just have to write the file name. For example, mktg report, right? So we can see here this file contains the marketing report for the month of May. So we are able to see this marketing report by this option. So also, if we want, we can merge these two files and create a new file also. For example, I want to create a sales report, right? As I have created two reports, or if I want to create a complete report from these two both reports, so what can I do? So in this case, I have to write cat, right? And then I have to mention the files that I have already created. For example, mktg report, then I have sales report, and I have to press the right shift operator here, and then I have to mention the file which I want to create for in which in my case it is final report. So just I have to press enter. Now let's see if it is visible. So let's put ls, let's see all the directories. So yes, we have a final report here, which is starting with dash, which is, so it means that it is our regular file. So let's see now that if our file contains all the report that we have merged, final report. Yes, so it contains the marketing report as well as sales report for the month of May. So I have shown that how we can successfully merge two files. Now we have seen creation of files using the cat command, right? Also there is an option which are empty files creation option. By the cat command, we are creating and adding file data using cat command, and we are also adding data. So this is very important part. So we also have a similar command by which we can create files, but the data is not added. They are 0 byte empty files. So the command that we can create 0 byte empty files, right? So the command to create is touch, and we have the file name here, the file which we want to create. So for example, I can show, for example, if we create touch file 1, so we can see our command here. So file 1 is created, right? So as we can see that the marketing report was of 58 bytes and the sales report was of 58 bytes, and the file 1 which we have created by using the touch command is of 0 bytes. So this is the difference, right? Also, we can create a single file with touch command, right? As we have created a single command, single file. So similarly, The benefit of touch command is that we can create multiple files using this touch command, right? So let's try that. So for example, if I want to create touch file 2, file 3 and file 4, let's check again if our files are created. So as we can see, the file 1, file 2, file 3 and file 4 are created. So this is the one benefit of touch command, that we can create multiple 0 byte files as much we want. And also the touch command is used to change the timestamp of a file or directory. Okay, so timestamp, what is timestamp? So you can say that timestamp is this, like this was the file which was created on April 25th, 15:25 p.m. So this was created here, and we can see that 3:27 is happening right now. So suppose if we want to change the current timestamp of our file, right? So how can we do that? So what we have to do is just write the touch command here, and we have to write file 1 again. Now you can see the file 1 has now timestamp of 3:27, which we have because we have just now touched it, or we just now have used it using the command. So that's why the timestamp has changed. Also, we have a different way to do that. For example, first I will show you here to change the timestamp of a file. So this is the syntax. For example, touch. This will be the file name or the directory name, right? By using this command, we can like change the timestamp. So let's try for file 1 only. For example, let's write touch. Now we are going to change it. For example, first select the option which is the T, and then we will type in the year. So according to this, which year is going on? It is year 2025. So let me type 2025, and let me type the date here. So as the syntax we have, so then we have to type in the month. So this is the fourth month which is going on. So let me type 04 04. Then we have to type in the date. Okay, let's type it as 25. Now we have to type in the time in hours and minutes. So let's suppose if I have created this file before 11, let's put 20, right? And let's put in the file name, which is file 1. Now, if we check through the touch command, we can see that the timestamp of our file 1 has changed from 3:27 to 11:20. So this is also another benefit of touch command which we can use. Now, as we have seen that normal files can be created using the touch command or the cat command, which we call as regular files. How about folders? How to create folders in particular Linux? So in order to create folders or directories, we use mkdir command, right? So let me type to create folders. we use mkdir command, right? So how is mkdir command written? What is the syntax? So mkdir, you can put in the option and mkdir, the option and the directory name that you want to create, right? So let's create directories here. For example, let's create mkdir directory 1. So if we can see, our directory 1 is created here, right? So this is the directory which we have created. So also we can create multiple directories using single mkdir command. For example, let's take here for example. So we have mkdir directory 1 we have created. Let's create directory 2, directory 3, directory 4. So also we can create nested directories, right? So in order to create nested directories, what we command we can use, for example, mkdir. Let's type p for nested commands and let's create d1, d2, d3 and d4. So let's see the command that we have created. So we can see here that this is the d1 folder has been created. Now, in order to see this whole D1 structure, what we can do is we can just write this command ls, as we have seen before. The capital R command is used to see the all the options that we can see. For example, recursively see the contents in a tree structure, right? So let's type in the name of the directory that we have created, which is D1, and here it is. We can see all the directories nested, how they are created and the files they contain. So this is the command to create the nested directories. Now let's do the navigation part. Now suppose we have created this D4 directory, or we have to go somewhere in this particular Linux file, right? We have to navigate from one file to another file. So what command we use for the navigation? So in order to navigate, we use the command. Also, before telling the navigation command, let me make clear the options that I used in the mkdir command, so that we are able to have a clear mindset about the mkdir command. So in mkdir command, we are using p for creating multiple nested directories, right? So just in order to remember that p option is used to create multiple nested directories, right? So this command is used to create multiple nested directories. Now let's move forward to the navigation command. So the navigation command is cd, and we have to put in the option here. Basically in the cd command I'm referring to option as, for example, the place that we want to go, or we can say that this is the argument. Like in cd, where we want to go, which file we want to access, right? So this is the command that we are use. And also, for example, for now we have created the d1, d2, d3, d4. These are the nested folders that we have created. Now let's suppose I want to go inside of d1. So as we can see, our this file also changed. This is showing d1 now. So we are inside d1. Now inside D1 we have D2. Now suppose we want to go inside the D2, so we can press CD and D2. So we are now inside D2. Now we can see that we have D3 here. We can also go inside D3. So we are inside the D3. Now suppose we want to go back to the previous folder. So how we can do that? So we can do that by using this option. We just have to press two dots in the front of CD and we are able to go back to D2. Now suppose if I want to go a folder back, like not just one back, I want to go back two times. So what I can do is I can type this CD and this. So I'm back to the directory from where I started. So this is how we can use cd command, and in here instead of getting back to D1 I have getting back to the root command. So this is how the cd command can be used. Also cd command is very important. Suppose if you know the location of any particular file, for example, I know the location of cd etc. So now you are inside etc. So also, if you press the cd command, you will come back to the root folder from where you started. So this is the basic cd command that we used, and the basic cd command goes to the user logged in home directory, which is, for example, super user, it is root. And if we will create a new user sin for the video, so let's have a quick recap. So first of all, in the basic Linux commands part 1, we have checked with the pwd command, which is the present working directory. Then we have worked with the ls command, which is the to list directories. So for the ls command, we have checked that we have option, for example, L, which is used to show us the attributes of all the directories. We have the option as A, which shows all the files and directories including the hidden files. Then we have the option D, which is used to check for a particular file or directory by searching their name. Then we have the recursively to see the content of the tree structure, capital R. Also, we have also option, for example, if we are using ls command, we can press just like this ls, and if we want to search for any name, for example, I want to search for India, I will type India and put a star here, and then I will enter search, and then I will be able to see all the results related to India. So these are the options in the ls commands. Then we move forward to the cat command. In the cat command we have option and also we have the argument. So in the cat command what we did, we created new files using cat command. For example, we can create a file and using the greater than sign, and we can type in the file name. For example, I want to create a file name as fun, and after the typing the file name, what we have to edit the data, and then we have to input some data, press enter and press on Control D. Then the file is saved and we came back to the normal argument that we have to put in. So that's how the cat file is used, cat command. Then we have the touch command. When we want to create 0 byte files, also we have two benefits of touch command, that by using touch command we can create multiple files, and also by creating multiple files we can also change the timestamp of a particular file. As I have shown, the option used for the changing of timestamp is T, right? And we can change the timestamp of that particular folder. So this is the basic difference when we are creating the file through cat command. It can also be empty if we don't put any data and directly press Control D. For example, if I will show you cat run, I'm creating cat run. So I am pressing Control D, then let's check. So here we have run and it is also of 0 bytes. So we can do it from cat as well. So after the cat command, we have seen mkdir command, which is basically to create folders or directories inside of Linux. And also we have explored the P option of mkdir command, which is used to create the nested directories using the mkdir command. And in the end, we have seen the cd command, which is used to access all the directories across the files in the Linux operating system. So thank you for being me till here today and have a nice day ahead.